Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Simpson. I hope you're all doing well. I know I'm thinking about my students a lot, so I'm really excited to read you this story. I'm sorry it's taken me a few days. All of my children's books are at Maple Hill, so it took me a while to find the box of all my old books when I was even younger than some of you. So I finally found the box, and this is my favorite book from when I was growing up. Of course, it's about going to school, and I became a teacher. Go figure. But as you can see, it's my favorite book, and it is completely falling apart. That's how much I loved it. So I hope you like it. It's called My First Day at School, and it was written by Emmi S. Herman, and the pictures were by Ruth J. Flanagan. Okay. It was the first day of school. Mrs. Lee gave Amy a big hug and a kiss in front of room 103. "Have a wonderful day, my shining star," said Mrs. Lee. She showed Amy a folded piece of paper and quickly put it in her daughter's pocket. "Open this in case you need a little help." Amy walked into the classroom. "Welcome to class 103, greeted a friendly lady. "You must be Amy. I am your teacher, Mrs. Burns." Oh my gosh. And we have a teacher named Mrs. Burns at Maple Hill. I didn't even realize that. "Find your cubby and then join the others on the rug." Mrs. Burns walked off quickly. All of a sudden, Amy felt very alone. She reached inside her pocket and touched the piece of paper her mother had put there. She's a little nervous, and I think we all kind of know what that feels like. "Amy, your cubby is next to mine," said a girl with red hair. "Thank you," said Amy. She put her lunchbox in a cubby marked Amy, and the two girls walked off over to the rug. "Today we will meet new friends and learn names," said Mrs. Burns. One at a time, she called out the children's names and put on name tags. The girl with the red hair got up. Her name was Katie. Amy waited and waited for her name to be called. She started to feel sad and remembered the piece of paper in her pocket. "Amy Lee," called out Mrs. Burns. Amy got up, quickly and quietly. Mrs. Burns put on Amy's name tag and smiled. Then Mrs. Burns told the children about the activities for the morning. Amy chose block corners, but when she got there, 3 boys were already building a castle. There was no room for Amy, and she began to feel alone. She put her hand in her pocket and touched the paper. So there she is, kind of feeling alone. "Do you want to help make a moat? Every castle needs a moat," said a boy named Ben. "Okay," said Amy. She made a moat with Ben, Perry, and Gabriel. When the principal came in to meet the children, she said it was the nicest moat she's ever seen. Soon it was lunchtime. What a big, noisy place, Amy thought. Kind of like our Beehive Cafe, huh? Very noisy place in there. Mrs. Burns spoke in an outdoor voice. "This is your table. You will sit here as a class for the whole year. Children who eat hot lunch, please follow me. The rest of my class may begin to eat now." When I was little, I always used to like to look at their lunch boxes. I thought the designs were cool. Amy looked for Katie, but she could not find her. She sat down at one end of the table. All around her, children were talking and laughing, but Amy felt so alone, she just stared at her lunchbox. Then Amy remembered the paper in her pocket. She reached inside and felt it. Just then, Amy heard her name. It was Katie. "May I sit here?" asked Katie, carrying a lunch tray. "Sure," said Amy. "I was looking for you." "I get hot lunch. I stand in that line over there," Katie said, pointing behind her, pointing to the hot lunch line. Katie sat down and started to spread mustard on her hamburger. "You like mustard on your hamburger?" asked Amy. "Yes, I do," answered Katie. "So do I," cheered Amy, and the 2 girls laughed. After lunch, children ran in all directions in the yard. Amy couldn't decide what to do first. There were monkey bars, slides, 2 jungle gyms, tire swings, and seesaw. "Can you give me a push?" asked the girl who was sitting on a tire swing. "Okay," said Amy. So she pushed, and pushed, and pushed. Soon the girl was swinging very high. "Whoa!" giggled the girls. "You are good. What's your name?" "Amy. What's yours?" Amy asked. "Jenny," said the girl. "Do you want to go to the monkey bars now?" asked Amy. "Yes," answered Jenny. The girls raced to the monkey bars, but just as they got there, Amy tripped and fell. She felt a stinging on her knees and then saw the blood. Are you okay? Asked Jenny. No, said Amy, trying to hold back tears. Mrs. Burns walked over quickly. Jenny offered to take Amy to the nurse. The school nurse washed Amy's knees and gave her a bandage for each. Last summer I fell and got stitches right here, said Jenny, pointing to the tip of her chin where a faint scar remained. Ugh, said Amy, forgetting about her own injury. Did it hurt? Did it ever, said Jenny dramatically. After cool cups of water, the girls thanked the nurse and walked back to the classroom. Just like some of you when you go see Nurse Christy and Nurse Kelly. The children were sitting on the rug. Mrs. Burns smiled at the girls as they walked in. A few children asked what happened. Amy felt important telling her story and showing the bandages. Soon it was time to go home. Amy saw her mother come into the classroom. There is my shining star, her mother said. How did your first day go? Mrs. Burns came over to Mrs. Lee. Amy fell in the yard, but she was very brave. She had help from her friends. Did you need any other help? Asked Mrs. Lee, looking at Amy's pocket. Amy's eyes widened. So many things happened today, I didn't even get a chance to open the piece of paper. Now I will, exclaimed Amy, reaching into her pocket. She opened the paper and discovered a shining new star sticker. Just like her mom calls her shining star, she gave her a sticker. Whoa. Amy smiled and looked up at her mother. I think I was a shining star today, without this after all, she said. The end. So I used to love that book. I used to make my mom read it to me every night, which is why it's falling apart. So I hope you guys liked it. Shout out to my 4S kids. I hope you're doing good. And I'm thinking about you a lot. So I hope we could get back to school soon. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another book.